Hi, I'm Cherie Karabin. When the pandemic hit, many people began working from home on a full-time basis. Some adopted pets to keep them company, and others just got closer to the ones they already had. And the pets, well, it was a bit of a transition, but with a little time, most were happy to make the adjustment. Now, as pet parents head back to the office, they're asking their four-legged friends to return to the old normal, and it's creating anxiety issues for some pets. From excessive barking to destructive behavior.
My baby Newfoundland, who's much bigger than the other two, actually chewed my windowsill twice.
Those are some of the ways pets are reacting to their parents' new back to the office work schedules.
Animals are really big on focusing and adapting to a routine and sticking with that. So much like people, they thrive on that. So with the pandemic, it has really changed their routine because they were used to their parents going to work all day and spending the whole day away from them, and then all of a sudden everybody was home with them. Now our animals that are used to having their parents home are going to all of a sudden be left alone for 8 to 10 hours a day. And I think it's a perfect setup for separation anxiety for a lot of our dogs. And so some of the behaviors that we see with that are an increase in vocalizing, so barking again, as well as some dogs that actually get so anxious that they become really disruptive, and they can actually destroy parts of the house, the doorways, their crates. Sometimes they eliminate, so they might urinate or defecate. And so really it depends on how anxious they are, but they can get to a very severe level.
When we leave during the day, he is crated because he's still a puppy. And when we put him in the crate, he screams at the top of his lungs. And that gets all the other dogs going. We have a 9-month-old Chihuahua that we adopted, and we have an older Basset Hound who is also anxious.
When I come in, they rush me right at the door, and they're afraid to leave me. This one holds on to my shirt for the first 5 minutes and walks around holding on to my shirt because she's afraid I'm going to leave her.
With cats, it's a little bit tougher because they will tend to, react more with changes in their litter box habits. So we may see more elimination issues where they're urinating outside the litter box and doing other stress-related behaviors too. And some animals may become actually pretty mopey. They may actually get a bit depressed from being left alone during all that time when they've been used to having you home. Some mild changes I think are to be expected, but when we get to the point where we're being destructive of the household, or posing a risk to themselves if they may hurt themselves by trying to get out of the crate or out of the house, then it's really time to seek a veterinarian's help at that point. Some things in general that the veterinarian may recommend are try to stick to a routine, because your pet will thrive on that. And so reestablishing a new routine, but trying to stick with the same time with feeding schedule, exercise, that can be helpful. Exercise in general, and we know that it helps with people to decrease anxiety and depression. So the more that you can get them out and exercise them, even your cats you can play with toys and get them up and moving, so that can definitely be helpful. More specifically for things like separation anxiety, your veterinarian may recommend that you use medications. Sometimes in severe cases we do use medications just to help decrease their overall anxiety. And that can help them to learn that it is okay to be alone. One thing I would recommend as we transition to this period is go slow with it. So start your animals off by doing slower transitions out of the house. Do a half hour here, an hour there, so they get used to it and aren't all of a sudden left for a long period of time.